Ifeoma's Saloon, popularly known as Ife's Saloon, is located at the heart of the town with a designer modern building. It is outwardly decorated with the faces of beautiful women flaunting their beautiful different hairstyles, which was braided, twisted, and knitted. These women are known locally and internationally. Ify is a brand ambassador of several hair products, which made her salon outstanding because the scent of different products she influenced for scent all around the environment, and the sweet tone of chit chat from different women. This and much more activities carried out in her salon made it so interesting. Ifeoma the amazing hairstylist always have her salon filled up with so many beautiful women who don't mind spending hours queuing up just to see that Ife's magical hand touch their hair and give them a magical feel that will transform their beauty. For so many years, Ife's hands have worked so much wonders on different hair. There is no hairstyle that would be mentioned to her and she won't do magic with it. She's known in her hometown, in the States, in the country, and even internationally. No matter how shredded your hair looks, once her magical hand touches your hair, it gives you this confidence, this boldness, and brings out the inner beauty in every woman and lady. Her influence spread across both home and abroad. She mastered her craft and she knew how to deliver to her customers. Some women even book her for months, weeks, and they don't mind waiting that long just to have a magical touch of her fingers on their hair. Ify did not just style their hair, but she normally give her customers a reason to wow and marvel at their beauty, some even barely recognizing themselves after the magical transformation Ify does on their hair. But little did they know that her success is not just as a result of her resilience, hard work, mastering her craft, but there is a dark secret hidden behind the success of Ify. Time she comb through someone's hair, detangling and smoothing, she will quietly collect the shade strands with a deft practice motion. Oh, she will sweep them aside without her clients noticing. This was a way of letting her clients know that aside her top-notch excellent performance, aside she transforming them into a magical beauty that they never imagined or expected, she is also clean and makes sure her customers are comfortable in a clean and healthy environment. But little did they know that those stranded hairs she gathers are for a purpose. She quietly tucks those stranded hair she sweeps into a bag without any of her client or worker knowing. Oh, she was so much careful, meticulous, and observant. She makes sure that she is the last person to leave her hair salon, not allowing any cleaner do the job of cleaning the stranded hair on the floor. She makes sure that no one notices. She was so careful and she delivered excellently. Ify was so much careful that every strand of hair that falls from her client was so precious to her. Though her clients just think it is just some shred of hair on the floor that need to be swept and disposed by the salon cleaner. But many a times her workers also wonder and marvel, especially the cleaners. Why would Ify be the one cleaning the strands of hair and dispose them herself? Why she allow them do the other chores? Why would they not do the cleaning themselves? And they are paid huge sum of money to do that. Though they wondered but never take it too serious because of how she excellently does this without anyone suspecting her. To Ify, those strands of hair mean a lot to her and she must not allow any miss. Once she gets home, there is a ritual performance she normally carries out. This was taught to her a long time ago. She has been carrying out this ritual and it has been working for her. Prior to the success of her salon business, she was introduced to an herbalist who gave her instructions and guidance on how to succeed. Each night when she returns home, she will take the collected hair strands and put them into a pot of water. To every other person, it is the normal water, but to Ify, this is a water that has been prepared with a lot of herbs and magic. This has been a ritual performance passed down to Ify from generation to generation and must not die off in her hands. As the pot of strands of hair boils, the smell fills her kitchen with a very evil smell that people feel it is a normal smell from a treated hair. This smell lingered for long in her kitchen, even when the boiled hair is cold. This was not Ify boiling the hair. This was not about Ify picking every strand of the hair of her customers. But this is a spiritual exercise that must be carried out carefully. After Ify has finished boiling the hair, she sieves the water and drinks it. This was a magical leaden water. Each sip of that water would make her strong, would make her bold, not just in her physical body, not just in her mental body, but spiritually. It would make her blossom. It is the secret behind Ify's success. The more Ify boils the strands of water and drink, the more customers return, and the more they bring so many other recommendations down to her salon. In fact, a lot of those customers never liked her, but something keeps drawing them to her salon. Even those who vowed never to visit her salon find themselves at one point or the other making their hair at Ify's salon. They had even vowed that if Ify is not the one to make their hair, then they will rather wait until it is time for their appointment with her, and they would prefer to leave their hair scattered and tattered without allowing anyone touch it aside Ify. Oh, the more Ify drinks that water on each passing day, the more stronger she becomes, the more beautiful she becomes, the more magical her hands become, the more she is able to create styles that has never been seen by any stylist in the world. The more she stands out among other hairdressers, the more she becomes unique. With every customer and recommendation, her hair salon grew. Her magical performance amazed her a lot of times, but she often gets lost in deep thoughts because she knows that the secret of her success is not just in her skill, it's not just in her ability, but it has a deep spiritual rooting and foundation somewhere. Oh, it was the dark magic prepared by this herbalist behind the scene that was behind Ify's success. At first, Ify was so hesitant and felt irritated by this. You can imagine gathering someone's braided hair, boiling it and drinking all of the water, leaving none. And not just an ordinary water, but the water prepared by an herbalist with some herbs, magic, and the spirit. The water itself was not smelling and tasting good, not to talk more of shredded hair of people. But when Ify started seeing results of how women from far and near, timber and caliber, celebrities, politicians began to troop into her hair salon, that was a motivation for her to even do more. The more she performed the ritual, the more results she sees. Imagine all these high valued women waiting for hours, queuing up, gisting with people they've never met nor known, waiting for Ify's magical hands to only touch their hair. So at this point, Ify had no choice. Rather than to become addicted to this ritual, she performed it day in, day out, without missing any detail or any day. In fact, other stylists began envying her, began jealousing her. They talked, discussed, strategized, and did a lot of things, but yet they weren't seeing results as much as Ify was seeing. But what they didn't know was that Ify's success was not tied to her performance, was not tied to her skill. There is a magical power backing Ify up, which has been in existence even before Ify was born, and it was handed over to her years gone by. Ify's business continued to boom. She was not just a hairdresser, but her name became a household name. Mothers bringing their daughters to her, young guys bringing their women and ladies to her, fathers bringing their wives to her. There was no class of woman you look for at Ify's salon that you will not trace nor find. Everything seems perfect for Ify until one fateful gloomy day. Adaeze, a regular customer, a very beautiful young lady, full of life, vibrant and talented, walked into Ify's salon as usual to have her hair braided. Sat on a chair at Ify's salon. She had a beautiful smile, which she normally smiled at Ify whenever she is at the salon. She smiled not just to Ify but to other customers and workers. As usual, Ify, my dear, I need your magical hands on my hair. Give me a magical touch because I have an important event to attend. I don't want to look just beautiful. I need to be the center of attention at that event. If he chuckled with a warm, welcoming smile at Adaeze, come on, my beautiful queen. You know I always deliver. You know the magic my hands can perform on your hair and give you a top notch look. By the time I am done braiding your hair, everyone would marvel and ask if you are the bride. They laughed together as Ify began her work. Her hands moved swiftly on Adaeze's hair. She braided with precision, pulling the strands of hair tight to give Adaeze a top-notch look that would make her steal the event and attention of everyone. Adaeze sat relaxed, comfortable, and fully trusting Ify because she has long before now performed magic and wonder on her hair, so she trusts her without any iota of doubt. When Ify was done, Adaeze glanced through the mirror and gasped, "Wow! Is this really me? I can barely recognize myself. I look much younger and more beautiful. I wonder how much beauty would be added up when I am fully dressed for this event later in the day." She flipped her hair from side to side and exclaimed again, "Ify with the magic hands, you have done it again. You never disappoint." And everyone laughed. Ify moved backward, but as Adaeze stood up, she did something unimaginable, something unthinkable, something unusual. Adaeze began to pick the little strands of hair that has fallen when Ify was braiding her hair. The moment Ify turned and noticed what Adaeze was doing, she came and sounded calmly in order not to draw attention. "Ah, Adaeze, what are you doing? I will sweep it myself, don't worry. My task is to make you beautiful and nothing more. Just leave the strands of hair. I will do the cleaning, not to worry." Adaeze stood up and responded to Ify. "Ah, Ify, I read somewhere and I even saw a short clip that it is bad luck and it can cause you misfortune leaving your strands of hair where you played or made it. You don't know the next step or where your hair will end up going to. So I have resolved in my heart to always pick every strand of hair after braiding, washing, or weaving." "No, no, 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 no," Ify sounded. Her voice was rising with rage and anger, but was still trying to control herself in order not to draw attention. Ify ran closer to Adaeze, trying to collect the strands of hair on Adaeze's hand and returning them on the floor. But Adaeze gave her a glance and asked, "Ify, what is wrong? When has picking my strands of hair become an offense? Or do you have a plan for it?" Ify nodded her head. "No, no, I don't. You can go ahead and pick it, if that won't be a problem." Ify couldn't control herself. She came back Couldn't leave the place where Adaeze was picking the strands of hair. She was supposed to be attending to the next customer at that point, but she couldn't move because Adaeze was violating the rules that the herbalist gave her, and he clearly stated them. Unknown to Adaeze, Adaeze responded again, "This is my strand of hair. I will keep it in case of anything." Ify responded, "No, no, no, Adaeze, you must keep it." Adaeze asked again, "Is something wrong? Are you okay?" She nodded, "Yes, I am fine." Adaeze gathered all the strands on the floor, packed them and put them into her bag. She even reached out to collect the ones on Ify's comb because Adaeze made sure that no strand of her hair was left in Ify's salon. In order not to spark reaction from other people, Ify could not utter any more words as she watched Adaeze packing every single strand of hair on the floor and in the comb. She watched and was scared for her life because she don't know what would happen next. Though she feared danger but couldn't lay her fingers on what the danger really is. She wanted to explain to Adaeze the reason to as why she must leave her hair but couldn't speak because that was her little secret. Adaeze, smiling and waving as she catwalked out of her salon. Ify waved fadedly and was really afraid that everyone noticed, but no one was bold to ask her what the problem really was. On reaching the door, Adaeze reversed, came to where Ify was, gave her a hug with a sweet smile. "Thank you, Ify, for giving me this magical look. I know I have won the hearts of the people at the event already. I will see you some other time." The moment Adaeze left the salon, Ify collapsed. She barely could hold herself as she managed to support herself on the nearby chair. She was worried, and then she reached out to her phone. She immediately dialed the herbalist number. "Hello," said the herbalist. Ify trembled. Her voice was cracking. "Hello, hello, 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 Baba. Something terrible has happened. Baba, can you hear me? Hello?" The herbalist asked calmly, "What happened, my daughter? Speak, I can hear you." "Baba, there's problem oh. Baba, there's big problem. A customer took every bit strand of her hair after I just finished braiding her hair. Baba, what do I do?" "I warned you," said the herbalist. The tone in his voice had changed into a deep sound because he was angry. "I warned you. I practically clearly reminded you as often as possible that no customer should take any strand of her hair out of your salon." "I know, Baba. I tried all my best, but I couldn't stop her. People were already being suspicious because she was insisting on taking every strand of her hair. The more I tried to stop her, the more she picked every strand." Trembled with fear, her voice cracking as she continued to speak to Baba. The herbalist kept quiet for a long period of time and couldn't utter a word. She could hear the sigh of his breath. She sensed that something must really be going on. And she asked again, "Is there not something we could do? Baba, please help me." The herbalist responded, "There is no remedy to this. You must face the consequence." The herbalist said, "The consequence must come. Get ready for it. I warned you." He didn't give her another chance to utter a word. She was trying to plead with him, "Please, Baba," when the call ended at the other end. She was silent for a long period of time, seated coldly on the chair, not knowing what next to do. She began staring at her phone with uncontrollable tears. She had toiled with the spirit powers for a long period of time. She had enjoyed fame, success, perfection, money, influence. Now is the time to pay dearly for what she enjoyed. That same night, as Ify retired on her bed to sleep, she began to feel some sensation on her fingers. She thought it was just a normal itch, but as time goes on, the itching increased. As if that was not enough, her body also began to swell. She was scared. She screamed and cried out loud, but no one was there to hear or help her. She was taken to the hospital. Series of tests were conducted on her, but no one seems to understand nor identify the gravity of her sickness. Nothing was discovered and nothing was found, so she was advised to be taken back home. Days gone by, weeks gone by, months gone by. If he could not make use of her hands, if he could not make use of her legs, if he could not make use of her body, because they were all swollen. She was lying helplessly on the bed, crying and regretting every of her action. Few months later, maggots came out from her body and began eating up her flesh. Though she was alive, but yet in pain and agony. No one could help her. She could not hold a comb, not to even talk more of braiding her hair. No one could help her. No amount of screaming, tears could help her. Months gone by, she became useless, lying helplessly on the bed. Her once glorious hands, the hands that had brought her so much recognition, so much respect, so much success, so much both home and abroad, were now a source of endless pain, endless suffering, not to talk more of her legs, which could stand for hours without getting tired, are also now a source of pain. As days and months passed by, she could no longer bear the pain. So if he kicked the bucket, she died alone. Her once booming and glorious hair salon was abandoned, shut down, and no one to take over from her because no one wanted to end up like Ify. After the demise of Ify, women who paraded themselves book flights, book ride, used different means of transportation down to her hair salon from different parts of the world, moved on with their lives. No one ever remembered Ify's story. No one even wanted to go to her salon. They felt disgusted, they felt irritated, and never wanted to be associated with Ify because of the evil story about her. Her story became nothing rather than a cautionary tale that people whispered in the market, in their homes, at offices, and in different places. If you have listened and watched this till this time, thank you so much for staying glued to your phone. I would love to know where you are watching from. Leave your country in the comment section and leave your thoughts in the comment section. Also, write down what you've learned from this story in the comment section. And I would love to see you watch the next video that will be popping up after this one. Make sure you subscribe so you get to see our videos often.